Good morning. Got our meat birds and the baby lavenders. The rest of them are waiting for me to come feed them, obviously. They're all in another pasture. Maybe. Oh yeah, it's in there. There's a whole herd coming out from the woods. Now, in this cage, we had a mama Orpington hatch out 3 little babies last week. They're so little, they don't really come up on camera. There are 2 little olive eggers and then a little black one I'm pretty sure is a rooster. Let's see. And then we have another mama right here sitting on eggs. Last count she had 7. And then these are just actively laying hens. Another hen just meandering around. The leaves everywhere. Yes, Manny. You're hungry. I heard you. I'm throwing the feed over into that overgrown stuff, trying to get that eaten down, but they don't seem to be eating it down. Close this up. I'll take a walk around the back side. Broke the lawnmower this weekend. I was mowing and I went back to the back 40. I was mowing around the orchard and out by the deer feeder, down where the turkeys seem to be nesting out, and the fuel pump hose failed again. So you can kind of, so that is the deer feeder is there. So I have like a path around that overgrown area. This mowed down space is the orchard. Along here, kind of disappointed. We had a ton of blueberries last year, but they didn't really do nothing this year. So I gotta research that and figure that out. What they're doing. Because these ones haven't produced nothing since I found them, but they're growing in a bunch of garbage. They're wild, they're tiny, but they're so good. So good. But I was blessed last night with a whole big gallon Ziploc bag of of blueberries from one of our church members. So I'm sure we'll eat on them fresh this week. Make some blueberry pancakes. This is a little fire pit area. So I'm pretty sure this is one of the rackets. Handles. Anyways. So the corn is doing fantastic so far. The zinnia is still producing like crazy. They're still getting eaten up real good too, but then that is the last spaghetti squash on the plant. But it definitely got, you can see the little, let's see if we can get it to focus, that little white bug right there. There's a ton of them, let's see. Those are squash bugs. They've destroyed the patch. You can see all the vines down here. I've seen a whole bunch of nymphs on that morning glory vine, but I just picked up some DE last night, and we'll come out here and spray them when it dries out a bit. The oregano, I'm gonna have to come through and cut back all these flowers and do something with them leaves, but we'll come up here. We'll look around this side. This side's so pretty. I started harvesting, and you can see a few right here. These are all fresh eaten green beans, but they're not green. I've got purple, yellow, and green, but all I've seen is mostly purple and a couple green, or a couple yellow, I mean. So I'm so excited for that. We do like novelty items. It just makes eating fun. And if I'm going to grow it, I'm going to grow something I can't just get just wherever. So I've got some sweet potatoes. The vines are doing well. I do need to get in here and cut back a lot of this grass and stuff, but we'll see where that goes. These are Roma tomatoes. There were San Marzanos on there. I think there's one plant left of the 20 or so I planted, but I do have San Marzanos that volunteered up everywhere. I'm pretty sure this is a full size. This one's a full-size cantaloupe. That's a mini watermelon, I'm pretty sure. So I might come back through this week and plant the full-size one. And then that's a mini cantaloupe. And 2 volunteer tomatillos, or not tomatillos, I'm sorry, ground cherries. So, did plant some more like sage. Pretty sure this is a weed, but it looks like it's related to mint, just because it's all over. There's a morning glory down there, which that's supposed to deter all them squash bugs, but it don't seem to be doing nothing. We're still dealing with the Japanese beetles, but they're just going after the morning glory, so I'm kind of just letting them. They do like the pole beans, which I'm seeing some of my first. There's one there, and then there's one there. Seeing my first beans. There was a grasshopper on my foot. We got all kinds of peppers, volunteer tomatoes. These tomatoes, I just there's so many of them. I don't know what to do with them. I'm trying to get them trellis to the trellis, but we'll see. These beans. Okay, so I've got scarlet runners. There's a little songbird. And then sunset runners. Now, I love this. We've got the pink flower and the red flower. We did do the whole trellis, and I might come back through and plant where the beans didn't really take off. Now I got a bunch of carrots, and this corn is starting to take off real well, so I'm excited about that. And there's a bunch of beans in there that are starting to produce, and these beans are the same as up there, so there'll be purple, yellow, and green in there. And then where I harvested the potatoes from, right where that mower is, I'm thinking about putting more squash. These zinnias are just so gorgeous. And they all volunteered. I didn't plant none of them zinnias. Well, the zinnias I planted, I think I got one over there. So we got hot peppers on this side. This was the Chaos Gardens deal. I'm going to start juicing some of the celery because there's a celery patch here underneath this volunteer tomatillo. Little flowers are falling off the beans. I wonder what that means. Lettuce leaf, basil, and then this is a whole nother patch of celery in here. We got some volunteer marigolds. We let them do their thing. All the giant sunflowers are volunteers. They volunteered all along the outside wall. Some Swiss chard, lots of cherry tomatoes. You can see the bean. So the trellises, these are all pole beans, so they're for drying. Where the beans planted with the corn are all bush beans. Volunteer lettuce. Actually, I might have planted those. I'm not sure. I did have volunteer lettuce in my grass. This is holy basil, tulsi. It's a medicinal basil. So, and this is where I want to plant some more squash, and I might try to trellis it. So we'll have to experiment with that. This is the now dormant June Baron strawberries. The Baron May here. But back home we call them June Baron. This tomato plant is so huge, and it is so loaded down with fruit, and it does have the San Marzano, so they're paste type tomato. We grow all our potatoes in these bags, and my kids just threw the bags in here. There is basil, there is tomatoes, there is marigolds, just volunteered in here. So you can see one of the basils there, there's another tomato there. My husband came through and weeded it all out because it was literally a jungle last month. Okay, so I cannot get this camera to do these sunflowers justice. They are 12 to 15 feet tall, and I thought they were all going to be single heads, but there are hundreds of heads on them. So I am so excited. The ones that got damaged in the storm are starting to die back, but they're a smaller variety. I don't know if the storm damaged them or what. And so they just stopped growing. They're obviously dying back, but those ones are still 8 foot tall. They're taller than a greenhouse, but they're nothing compared to these first two. We've got, that is passion fruit, passion flower, maypop is what the locals call it. It's all throughout this patch. I did come through and weed eat a bunch, but then I found some more ground cherries. And I had somebody local asking me about them. We really do like them. My kids just get sick of harvesting them because they're best if you don't harvest off of the plant like I just did. You wait for them to fall on the ground. And what happens when they fall on the ground is they are a fruit. And all the bugs like them. But they have this little husk that stores. There's a bunch down here, so I'm just going to grab a handful. I could just start keeping a bowl for Friday. On Fridays, I've been teaching a small group of mostly preschoolers and kindergartners. It's been real fun. But we talk about Jesus's fruits. But Jesus gives us the fruit of the Spirit. But he also gave us all this fruit too. So in here we have, there is a cherry variety there. There's the ground cherry there, and that's a tomatillo, but they've all grown over each other. So it's chaos. It's just kind of how it goes. This is a paste tomato. I'm going to assume that it is a San Marzano because that's the paste tomatoes I grew last year. But I do love me a Roma tomato too. So the difference is a paste is a vine variety or indeterminate, and a Roma is a bush or determinate. So a bush will, or a determinate will only get so big. There are also thyme in here, and there's thyme over there. That one also has a bunch of bulbs in it, so you'll see some things that look like garlic or like tulips, and that's why. I did harvest probably 20 cherry tomatoes this weekend, and my kids, even my little girl that don't like tomatoes, ate all of them. So this is a tomatillo, so you can kind of see the difference. The tomatillo is going to stay real green. They're bigger. This is a very small tomatillo. Tomatillos get real bug ridden, but I grow tomatillos because all the pollinators love them. They end up with these real cute little tiny yellow flowers that have purple veining on them. I think the purple veining is because this is supposed to be a purple variety. But they only turn purple if they get fully ripe and get a lot of sun. So I'm excited to see how this one does, because this is the furthest from the tree line. That is my south side. It is all 30-foot pines. So that side does not get real good sun, especially late season. Oh, we got some fog coming in. But you can see, so my greenhouse is 8 foot at the peak, and that's like half the size of the sunflowers. And then we come over here, and we'll zoom back in. So, got new shoes last night, and they are so slippery. I needed some new garden shoes, and we'll see how it does. But I like these like PVC style shoes because you can just hose them off. They don't really matter. All these marigolds were volunteers, but we did. This is my chaos sowing. Last year I tried to do pumpkins in here, and I got 0 pumpkins. I probably threw out 1,000 seeds and got 0. So there are some zinnias popping up. There's one that's about to flower right there, and I think it might be one of them yellow or green ones. But I'm so excited to see how it turns out, and hopefully it will end up reseeding itself. Now I do have a lot of, I don't know, it's like a horseweed or Virginia something, South Carolina, I don't know. Anyways, it is a nightshade that's related to tomatoes, but it has thorns on it. And the only way to truly get rid of it is to mow it down every single time you see it for 4 or 5 years. So I'm hoping I'll just crowd them out. But there's the zinnia that's about ready to bloom, and it looks like that one right there might too, and that one right there. So I'm super excited to see what all we'll get in here. And what I could do is just literally every fall, after everything's spent, or even the winter, just come through and mow it all down, remulch this whole area, and just really work on building the soil. We do have a ground cover on the ground underneath of it, and we threw, I want to say, 4 pickup loads of horse manure in this when we did it last year. And I mean, it's obviously real fertile. The only reason there's bare ground down there is that's where the chickens are sunbathing. So, and there was marigolds all the way out here, like they were everywhere. And you can see. I've looked it up. I know I've got a name for this thing, but you can see the thorns on it. It's pretty nasty. But I was pretty impressed with all these volunteer marigolds. I literally last year, all the marigolds I had thrown in here because I was given a bunch of seed. I just let do their thing because they were what came up, not the pumpkins. And so those just reseeded, and I'm hoping to do the same thing with these ones this year. We have also left the blooming stage of my magnolia, and that's super fun. Just to see things shift, you get to really enjoy the beauty that way. That's our garden walk today. Have a blessed day.